government must speak the language of the time. And I'm troubled by my conscience. I should believe the statement by Twitter, and I should not be late. But I cannot avoid this rapprochement with destiny. June 16 is declared to be your day. The day of the African child. Because children shed their blood so that they will not be miseducated. Because if you kill the mind, you kill the person. And they did not want to die in my hand. And they sought to shed their blood so that others will live. Because society cannot develop until we become thinkers, innovators, and builders. And the challenge of the continent is precisely that 1.4 billion. All the resources on earth. And we are still told that over 500 million are living in abject poverty. What is responsible for that? That's why you are here. You must interrogate why to get the answers. If you don't ask questions, you don't get answers. And this is the starting point to be thinkers. These conferences is where you should begin to take charge of your destiny. And that is why I am here to accompany you. You look at the world and you ask yourself the question, why are we where we are? I'll just give you a brief history to show you the problem of the continent. The leader called Mansa Musa traveled to Mecca and traveled with so much gold that he changed the whole economy of Egypt and the Middle East with that gold. But now money is languishing in poverty. And that gold is money. If you look at Switzerland now, 6 of the world's biggest refineries of gold, 4 of them are in Switzerland. 2/3 of all gold is being refined in Switzerland. That's why Switzerland is the type of economy it is today. Suppose our thinkers knew that gold was money and accumulated it for centuries. Now we will control the world like 10 years. Because all that had happened in the Middle East is to transform their oil money into supranational wealth. They come to your nation, they establish their funds, Saudi fund, Kuwaiti fund, give you loans. Use the loans to build your homes, etc. And pay back with what they say is not interest, but of course is interest. And you continue to accumulate the supranational wealth and invest. As you invest, it increases and increases. And we say a melting nation with skyscrapers, all the mysteries of the world being discovered in countries where deserts managed by very poor peasants. Now they have moved away from that poverty because of the way they utilize their oil. We have Nigeria, Angola, all is already clear to us. The message is very clear from our history. In 1919, a group of people met in Paris to discuss what will be done after the First World War with the colonies, African colonies. And they said the colonies must become liberated. And what was the liberation mean? It means that they said the land and the natural resources must be kept in public trust by governments. They don't own it, it's owned by the people. And they must make sure that the people have as much access to the land as they can put into profitable use. Look at our countries today. How much access do we have to land for productive use? And they say, yes, we can give concessions to people to invest. But those concessions must not be allowed to lead to the exploitation of our people or the depletion of our natural resources. And what that investment should generate should be regulated and kept in time if we give any concession. 5 years, so that we build our capacity to protect that. 30 years concession. What does that mean? You're giving away your wealth. And it emphasizes that whatever concession you give to them, you must also take care of the social needs of your population. You must tax them to ensure that you provide education, etc. And they emphasize that every African child should be educated in your local, in your national language, as well as the language of the colonies. And you should be given not only academic education, but also technical education in the kind of industry. And then the teachers should be trained by the nation to see that they are there to help us to shape our children so that they can take charge. The teachers are mothers, they are paraparental figures. They assist the home to nurture the child. Why should you ask them to pay to be educated so as to come and take care of your child? They say that those teachers should be trained at national expense, education at national expense, because these are the children of the nation. They own power, they own wealth. My conclusion, unfortunately, is that we need to sit down again, engage in national conversations, continental conversations, universal conversations on the way forward for the world. Four revolutions must be waged before humankind can take charge of our destiny. The agrarian revolution, so that you can feed yourself. Industrial revolution, so that you can provide all this, all and everything at its wherewithal. The digital revolution, so that communication will be universal. Of the social revolution, so that nobody will be exploited and nobody will be poor. We have to work to do that. But we need to become thinkers, innovators, and build this solution.
Thank you so much, Honorable Salah. Thank you so much, Honorable Salah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's knowledge, there's a reason why I call it the political philosophy. When Khalifa speaks, wisdom itself is. To be honest, that is it. We wouldn't go there, but it's a great, great figure, not only in our political sphere, but as a Gambian, he's someone we are very proud of, and as a politician and mentor, election. Great, great. Please, once again, put your hands. So, my boss, are you tired? now we have one reason why we are converged here. Every human being deserves a particular place. Whatever you do in this world, dead or alive, people will talk about it. That's why it's very important, most especially for the culture. We understand the society is against you. We understand the institutions are against you. We understand even those in power are against you. But one thing you have to remember, when you are a woman or you are a lady, you have a dignity to protect. And in the protection of your dignity, you don't compromise your values. She's one person that I respect so much. I would not say she's from a poor background, but most of us are from humble backgrounds. We strive hard, we're determined to be where we are today. And she's among those who have paved the ways and who have made people believe that poverty doesn't mean you cannot become who you want to be. You just have to strive, just have to work hard and believe in yourself. So I have the honor and privilege to welcome on stage our own Fatu Kamara.
Thank you so much, MC, for that wonderful introduction. Good afternoon to you all. Today, I stand here not just as Fatuma of the Gambia, but as an African youth representing all the voices of the Pan. Having said that, I wish to recognize the members of the high table, our distinguished guests, our family, the media. Thank you very much for your patience. I sit you and the entire team is generation. And we welcome our brothers and sisters from Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. We also have about 2 Nigerians here. Welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. Congratulations to all of us for making it here today. May peace and development be upon us all. Traditionally, when our elders pray, they pray for peace alone. It is apparent peace is very crucial. But what is peace without development? What is peace without development? So, as an African youth, let me say this loudly and clearly. Peace is just the beginning. What we demand is development. Development that transforms the lives and well-being of all Africa's young people. This summit is about impact. That is why we are gathered here today. Ready, poised, and determined to make that impact. But there are many challenges hindering our impact. I have experienced them firsthand. In Senegal, almost everybody or every person I engage with at a certain level will tell me, Fatu, Jangal, and meaning Fatu, teach me English. This inspired my third book, Fun English with Fatu, an easy English learning book for French speakers who are interested in English. But the lesson here is not about my book. It is about language barriers. Barriers imposed on us by the colonial masters, but nurtured by us. We even laugh at each other when someone mispronounces the word in foreign language. What is it? No nation has ever unleashed the full potential of its youth through a foreign language. And Africa must wake up to this fact. Another challenge is economic. As a Gambian living in Senegal, the moment I cross the border, my Gambian currency becomes utterly useless. Not only is it not accepted, but even finding a bureau de chance to convert it into another African currency is almost impossible. Meanwhile, those same bureau de chances are filled with foreign currencies. As some of you know, I am not just an author or a youth leader. I am a businesswoman. And my business has gotten me to interact with countless young entrepreneurs, especially vegetable gardeners, whose businesses have become or have been brought to a standstill by cheap imports. That is capital, talent lost to Africa. However, despite the challenges, the African youth continue to register progress in making their impact at home. That is why I started the Antiken magazine, a periodic publication showcasing the amazing work of the African youth. And today, I am proud and excited to announce that the Antiken magazine will be launched here today. At this point, At this point, I want to thank Chairman Yankuba Dago, my big lady, for honoring the invitation to launch the magazine. This Youth Impact Summit is an extension of the vision that brought the Atike magazine to create an avenue to spotlight the brilliance of the African youth. But we cannot unlock all the support we need alone. We need the guidance, wisdom, and partnership of our leaders. Therefore, on behalf of all the African youth, I plead for your collaboration because we cannot really take baby steps without your collaboration. The time for the growth and development of the African youth is today and not tomorrow. Le moment pour l'unité des Africains, pas demain, chez aujourd'hui. Merci à tous.
Thank you so much, Fatu Kamara. That's a wonderful speech. And now, without wasting your time, I'll call on the people's chairman. I call him a soldier, a politician, a man of his word, military officer, as a politician, straightforward, honest, and honest. Mr. Honorable Yankuba Dago. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, the master of ceremony, and the two of you, the co-hosts that we have for this event. Thank you for taking us through the Now, once again, it's a privilege and honor to be standing before you. I must say, I have written a speech that I wanted to read before you, but I'm also a little bit inspired by some of the takeaways that I have been able to take away from the speeches and deliberations that were made here today, or delivered here today. For example, one of the key takeaways that I take is something that Mr. Rahman said. As a leader, that really, I learned a little bit of this in there. He said leaders lead by action, not by position. And he went on to say, if you wait for position before you act, you may never act. profound statements, and I hope that we all take a lot from there, from some of the contributions made here today. And the other one is Babakar Jain. He mentioned about sacrifice. He said he had to leave his well-paid job in order to start a business. That is also very inspiring. It's sort of like hits a core about my own sacrifice. I was a lawyer in the United Kingdom, in London. I was practicing there as an advocate. And you can imagine how much you earn as a lawyer in the UK. But because the region and the country I was born in, that is Africa, not much has been happening for many years. And if we in the diaspora, you want to be proud of where you come from. You don't want people to say, or to hear all those negative adjectives about Africa. You want something to be proud of as an African. But unfortunately, that wasn't coming. It's like it reminds us of the song, I believe, in many years ago, it used to be, the song goes like this: I'm only hearing bad news from the radios of Africa. So we really want to change that. And that is what got me into politics. So I also sacrificed that job in order to take up the bigger job of a politician in the Gambia. I was fortunate enough to be elected into office as the mayor or chairman of the Kawan Area Council. Now, one of the things that we had to fight at that council had been corruption. And corruption is something that I want to really talk to you about today, because it's very, very important. It's one of the reasons why both the entrepreneurs and politicians and governments are all struggling in Africa. And Africa is a big economy. The only thing is that we are not exploiting that economy now. We are allowing barriers to impede our thinking capacity, our boldness to expand as entrepreneurs and businessmen. I remember I did a talk in Nigeria around May, and I was talking to businessmen in Nigeria. One of the things I told them is that Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa. But the problem we have, which resonates across the whole region, is that as businessmen, we are not bold enough to, as JT said, to take that sacrifice or to take that risk of expanding our businesses beyond our borders. We are all very comfortable in our comfort zones or our regions. So, for example, you will find a businessman in Senegal. He's more than happy and comfortable with the little he's getting in Senegal. He doesn't want to risk expanding this business to, say, for example, Ghana, Conakry, Mali, or Gambia. We've got to do better than that, because I think it is Senegal that I went to, and I saw a chicken shop or a chicken outlet that sounds like and they cook something that is very similar to KFC, but it's only in Dakar you find it. I wish that businessman can be brave enough and go beyond the borders. We would defeat KFC in the world. So as entrepreneurs, the advice that I want you to take from this is that someone was bold enough to say, I am going to make this event happen in the Gambia. And I'm going to make sure that I invite all our brothers from Senegal, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, to come to Gambia so that we can have this event today. And the person took risks. And those risks that the event could fail. And what would the guests or delegates say about the organization or the way the event was organized? But he said, I am going to try everything possible to make this happen. And he made a lot of us cross borders to come to the Gambia to attend this event. What we want is this to be our mental dogma or conviction from here is that as entrepreneurs, we are going to make sure, because you see, that chicken in Dakar is something I crave for, but I cannot have it in the Gambia. It's something I crave for in where I am in Brikama. Not only the businessman is depriving himself of the profit, but he's also depriving me of something that I want to eat. And this is what we are doing to our fellow Africans. If we expand these businesses, you know what will happen? We will create jobs. And when we create jobs, central governments gain revenue from the taxation of the employers, of the employees that they will employ. And the trade and so many other businesses. Farmers will also make profit out of it. Because if you're not able to import potato from Senegal, a local potato farmer in Gambia can be able to sell it to the outlet and they will be able to make profit out of it. So what I am saying is, let us take certain takeaways from the event today. Let's be bold. Let's understand that if we do business within Senegal, maybe in a month we will get 1 million safer. But if we do business in the whole of Africa, in a month we will get 1 billion safer. That's how we turn Africans into billionaires and not just millionaires or hundredaires or thousandaires, but billionaires. And the more billionaires we have in Africa, the more billionaires we have in Africa, the more the continent will be rich. Let's think about this. Politicians alone cannot make Africa rich. Businessmen have to lead that. You guys have to initiate, you have to create, you have to be innovative, you have to inspire, you have to create all of this thing and compete with the Chinese, with the Americans or the Europeans, so that we as Africans can also be able to reach that development and progress. So I want everyone here to take that away with them, to ensure, just like Jenta said, to make that sacrifice, to say, I have a good business in Senegal, everything is perfect here, but I'm going to take that little sacrifice of my time, my comfort, and everything else, and then go to a country where I cannot speak any language. I cannot speak the English that they speak. I cannot speak the local dialects that they have there. I'm going to make that sacrifice to initiate something there. Not just because I want the profit, but I want to bring something to that country because they are our brothers, and because I want Africa to become like Europe, to become like the United States of America. So let me, because I've taken a lot of time, but just like I said, I was inspired by the deliberations that have been made here. And it really, really made me want to become an entrepreneur. I tried it once, it didn't work. That's why I went to politics, but maybe I'll try again. So I want to firstly, because my task here is to inaugurate a very good magazine that which I think, and kudos to our sister, my darling, for that initiative. And I believe that this is going to help. Such magazines are going to help us to be able to break those barriers. Because I would encourage that it's not only English, but that we have it in French and in Portuguese as well, so that we can all be able to read at the same time of the same stories. So, Atiken, the name Atiken is a Drola. It means a fighter for a good cause. And I believe that's what we are all here for. And we are inspired to become fighters of a good cause. It's truly a fitting title for this magazine for the moment that we are in, because we really need fighters of good cause in Africa. After having so many fighters of terrible causes in this country, we definitely need few to take us somewhere. So today we come together to recognize young African leaders who are working tirelessly to build a better future for themselves, for their communities, and the world. As I stand here, I am reminded of the immense potential within our youth. Your energy, your drive, and your ability to change the status quo. However, we must also acknowledge the challenges that stand in our way, especially corruption, which has been a barrier to our progress for far too long. And unfortunately, we are losing a lot of our youth on the dangerous seas, on the perilous journeys to go to Europe for greener pastures. This is the backway syndrome, which is killing a lot of our youth. Just as we speak, in this country, we are grieving or mourning the loss of 190 youths that have boarded a boat and wanted to cross the Atlantic Ocean to get to Spain and the Canary Islands. This is now a real big problem for us, because we are losing far too many of our future leaders. And no society can prosper without its future leaders. So I want everyone to take 1 minute silent so we pray for their souls. And as youths, I want us to be able to inspire every one of us, and we can indeed make it here, and we can indeed achieve that greener pasture in this country. So 1 minute silence to pray for our youth who passed away on the backway journey. Thank you. So, corruption is not just a political issue. It is a social and economic disease that affects every facet of our lives. As the chairman of Brikama Area Council, I have had both the privilege and the responsibility to work closely with local communities, and I have seen firsthand how corruption erodes trust, stifles development, and diverts resources from those who need it most. But I am also here to say that we can overcome this challenge of corruption. Every single one of us has a role to play in fighting corruption. It begins with integrity, being truthful to ourselves and to our people we serve, and for businesses, to the customers we serve. It requires courage, the courage to stand up for what is right, even when it is very difficult. And it demands accountability, holding ourselves and those around us responsible for their actions. In my role, I have made it my mission to ensure that every project we undertake at the council is transparent and the resources allocated for the benefit of our people are used for their intended purposes. Whether it is infrastructure, health, or education, we cannot allow corruption to rob our communities of our resources they so desperately have an incredible important role to play in this fight. The next generation of leaders is in this room, or are in this room. The next generation of leaders are in this room. The change we want to see in our continent, in Africa, and in our sub-region, West Africa, will come from your voices, your actions, and your dedication. But we also need you to stand and fight against the temptations that often come with power, privilege, and wealth. And you're going to have all of this in the future. You're going to be very powerful, either as a businessman, politician, or leader. You're going to be very wealthy, either as businessmen, politicians, and that you're also going to be privileged. So whenever you have those, just remember these words that I have just said. We need you to be fighters of good causes, not for personal gain, but for the well-being of your communities, your countries, and this continent of Africa. The fight against corruption is not easy, but it is necessary. The progress of our nation and indeed our continent depends on it. Without integrity, transparency, and accountability, dreams of development, prosperity, and equality remain out of reach for many. But with courage to make difficult decisions, we can turn things around. And that's why I am very grateful. I am very excited. I am honored to declare the Atiken magazine open, to inaugurate it, to start it, and we hope the good fight, the fight for good cause, begins today. And our number one fight in this continent, as the Honorable Halifa Saleh Al-Sudia alluded about our wealth, Mansa Musa, the wealth that we have in this continent, being siphoned into Switzerland and the other banks in Europe. It's all down to one thing, and that is corruption. But we've seen a new wave of new politicians in our continent, people fighting against it. Senegal, they said, Jubal. In Gambia, we are trying to say, don't steal, don't lie. You're right. And I hope this magazine is going to be the vehicle to re-echo, to transcend those values, that mantra from here to every country in Africa, because if Africa and Africans are not deprived of their resources, solely we will definitely be Dubai or New York or many other developed nations. We will surpass many of those countries. But the only reason why we are not getting there and why Africans still struggle is because few people tend to deprive the many from what is supposed to be for all of us. And we can change that. All of us, every one of us, we have the power, we have the strength, and with Atiken behind all leading us, we shall definitely get there. So, with profound gratitude and excitement, I declare Etiquette magazine open and inaugurated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chairman, for the beautiful words, very inspiring, and it touched the soul. Thank you so much, our chairman. And I'll give it to the boss lady and she will continue with the rest of the programs. I'm around, okay? So this is an important announcement of our Senegalese brothers that your honorable, our honorable, Mr. Jahate will be making a speech right after this guest we are about to call. So please be seated and wait for his wishes.
Okay, guys, welcome back after the break. And before I call the next speaker, there is a very important and very interesting book that matches what we are doing here today or why we are here today. And it is actually not much, but the person that gave the books did not want to be mentioned. But we want to say thank you to